There is no need for an intro this week. Welcome back to the Game Clock. Let's get into today's show. Starting off with your local sports. The Kings of the 845 have defended their crown successfully. The Goldbacks defeated Middletown 35-0 to win the Class AA Section 9 championship. They dominated the Midi Bears all game after an amazing game from offensive MVP DeAndre Johnson and Tajir Walker. On the defensive side of the ball, Darrell Jackson Jr. had a phenomenal game. As a result, he won Defensive MVP. Now, I also kept up with the Section 1 championship as the winner would play Newburgh in the regional final. The defending state champion Carmel Rams beat the Mamaroneck Tigers 31-28 in Mayapack to win their second straight Section 1 championship. The Goldbacks will take on the Rams next week. Now on to your pro sports update. Let's start with the combat circuit. There's a massive fight agreement last week that's been taking the world by storm. As everyone knows, Jake Paul has become the most popular boxer in the world, unfortunately, especially after his, quote, win after Anderson Silva. However, he has recently been called out by the Top G, Andrew Tate. These two recently met face-to-face and will most likely fight in January. UFC news. UFC 281 was last Saturday at MSG. Dustin Poirier defeated Michael Chandler by submission, Zhilei Wang became the new strawweight champion, and Alex Perez shocked the world, beating Israel Adesanya by TKO again to become the new middleweight champion of the world. In NBA news, the Knicks sit at 6-7 after a 141-31 loss. The Oklahoma City Thunder. The Nets, however, are 6-8. Not really a great time for New York basketball. In the NHL, the New York Rangers currently sit at 8-6-3 after a 4-1 win over the Arizona Coyotes. The Islanders are currently 11-6-3 after beating the Blackhawks 4-2. The Devils are currently 12-3-0 as they lead the Metro. There were no updates on MLB free agency, so there's no need to talk about it. Never mind, I got word in my invisible earpiece that Anthony Rizzo declined his qualifying offer and he's already re-signed with the New York Yankees on a 2-year, $40 million deal. Now let's get to the wrap-up. This week had so many good games, but one of them stood out. We will save that one for last. Now I'm going a bit out of order here, and I'm going to start with the results of the other games. The Panthers beat the Falcons 25-15 on Thursday Night Football. The Bucks beat the Seahawks 21-16 in the first NFL game in Germany. The Lions beat the Bears in a shootout 31-30. The Finns rolled over the Cleveland Browns 39-17. The Titans beat the Broncos 17-10. The Giants beat the Texans 24-16. The Chiefs beat the Jaguars 27-17. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Saints 20-10 in TJ Watt's return. Jeff Saturday in his first game coaching the Colts beat the Raiders 25-20. The Rams once again lost, this time 27-17 to the Cardinals, just freaking ending their season already. And on Sunday Night Football, the 49ers beat the Chargers 22-16. Now let's get to the games of the week. The first game we need to discuss is the Cowboys Packers game. Green Bay desperately needed a win and thought they could do it against the Cowboys. This was a back-and-forth battle. The Cowboys were up 28-14 in the fourth, but 2 touchdowns from Christian Watson from Aaron Rodgers tied it up at 28. The game would go into overtime. On 4th down and 4, Dallas would go for it instead of kicking a field goal. They were stopped. Green Bay would go down the field and kick the game-winning field goal in overtime, winning 31-28, completely saving their season. Let's kick this up a notch a little bit. In Buffalo, we had what looked to be the game of the week. This wasn't just that. This was game of the year. Now let's just get to the good parts. The Bills were up 27-23 on their own 1-yard line. They had just stopped Minnesota with a minute left. All they had to do was not lose the ball. Next thing you know, Bills quarterback Josh Allen fumbled the snap and Minnesota picked it up in the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. While down 30-27, Josh Allen plotted his own comeback. He drove the Bills down the field to kick a game-tying field goal. 30-30 going into overtime. The Vikings would get the ball first and kick a field goal. Buffalo would get the ball next. While driving down the field, Josh Allen threw an interception, costing the Bills the game. The Vikings would hang on to win 33-30 and solidify themselves as the top dogs of the NFL. In Philly, we had a game filled with absolute madness. In one corner, the 4-4 Washington Commanders. In the other corner, accompanied by Lincoln Financial Field, the 9-0 Philadelphia Eagles. 8-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Should have been 9-0. This was supposed to be a one-sided game. It's anything but. Philly went up 14-0 early, but the Commanders scored 23 unanswered. The Birds would score, making it 23-21. With 5 minutes left, 2 Eagles fumbles, including one that should not have been a fumble, cost the Birds dearly, setting up a Commanders field goal to put them up 26-21. The main contributor for the Commanders was wide receiver Terry McLaurin. He He posted 8 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown against the elite Eagles secondary. Washington would be stopped on second down, setting up a crucial third down with 1:30 left in the game. Commanders quarterback Taylor Heineke gave himself up and was hit after the play, setting up a roughing the passer and a free first down, giving Washington a fluke win. Now, I'm an NFL guru who loves this game like it's his job, but don't get me wrong. This is a terrible look for the league. The players are going to get away with flopping. It's going to turn into a glorified NBA. Anyway, Washington got stood up, setting up the Eagles with 5 seconds left. They tried the lateral plays, and Washington picked it up and scored. Game over. Perfect season over. 72 Dolphins are somewhere popping bottles of champagne like they do every single season. For the second time in 3 years, the Commanders upset an undefeated team on the road. Oh, and by the way, the other team, the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Washington owns Pittsburgh and all of PA. Now, before we end the show today, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Division III Newburgh Goldbacks youth football team on their big win over the Newburgh Steelers, 20-0, in the city of Newburgh to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl against Valley Central at Marlboro High School. Now, a quick little update before we end the show about the Newburgh-Carmel game. It's going to be starting at 3 o'clock at Middletown High School. Newburgh is going to be away, so I really hope all of you show up because we are not losing to Carmel 2 years in a row. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. I'm JJ Seglio, and I'll see you next week. Go Goldbacks.